Hello, everyone, and welcome back to ISA 2021. My name is David Banks, presenting from Orlando, Florida for EVERYLITE. And today I'm going to be talking about a product that is a staple to the EVERYLITE business. I mean, what type of LED vendor would we be without channel letter modules? All right, so as everybody knows, LED modules are a necessity to provide bright and even illumination to your signage. And to start off this section, I'm going to start with our Panoramic series modules. So our Panoramic series modules have been around for 3 years, and during that time, they've provided reliable performance for many of our customers. This system comprises of a 12-volt system primarily, with 24-volt options that are available. The Panoramic line is our most comprehensive series, covering a multitude of color temperatures and colors, from 2700K, 4000K, 5000K, 6500, 7200K, and 9000K, as well as different colors: red, green, blue, amber, and custom colors are available with an MOQ. So let me grab one of our samples here and show you a key feature to our Panoramic series modules, which allows them to perform very well. So what you can see here in our 2-diode and 3-diode respectively, our Panoramic 2D and 3D respectively, it has a prismatic style lens. And what that allows is for the light to be dispersed as evenly as possible. So you may not be aware of this, but a module or a diode itself without a lens has a native resolution or native beam angle of 120 degrees. When you add this prismatic style lens, you get a true 170-degree beam angle, and it allows you to mount it in smaller or in shallower channel letters, as well as increase the stroke width when necessary. And to show this behind me, we have a couple different channel letter depths. We have a 3-inch deep letter, a 2-inch deep letter, and a 1-inch deep letter. So a 3-inch deep channel letter with a single stroke of the 3-diode Panoramic modules. As you can see, there's even illumination, no hot spots, and this is kind of a key characteristic for this module, because as we're seeing, channel letters are getting shallower and shallower, and that's just design driven. Not only is it design driven, but it's economical too. If you can use 2 inches less of material, it's going to make the sign less expensive. It's going to result in not as heavy duty mounting hardware, and it can just save you a lot of money in the future. And that's why you need to go with a product that has a great prismatic lens like this. So the first module I'm going to talk about is going to be our Panoramic 1D series module. As seen here, it's available in 6000K, 3000K, and red. So this module is about the width of the diameter of a penny. And the reason we offer a module like this is because, say you have a small letter that would typically require a strip light or some sort of application like that, but you don't necessarily want to fumble around with using strip light. It gives you the flexibility, the ease of use, and the sturdiness that's available in a module. And that's why we offer the Panoramic 1D in these 3 different colors respectively. The next module I'm going to talk about is the Panoramic 2D module, which has a prismatic style lens, and the only differentiating feature, the primary differentiating feature between the 2D and the 3D module, is it just has one less diode. It is a prismatic lens, offers that good panoramic performance to allow you to do shallow letters, etc. And the main reason for this product, to use this product in lieu of using the Panoramic 3D, is say you don't need the brightness the 3D provides, or say you don't have the opportunity to use as many power supplies as possible. This can save you on both of those things. Now the next product I'm going to talk about is our Panoramic 3D. This is by far our best-selling module, and it's offered in all of the colors you see behind you. So the Panoramic 3D series is our 12-volt system. It's IP66, and all of the modules you see here are IP66. And basically, it's available in, like mentioned previously, all the different color temperatures, different colors. With an MOQ, of course, you can make different colors. And one key feature I actually wanted to point out before I forget. So the Panoramic series in red, green, blue, and amber respectively has a red, green, blue, and amber PCB board. What this allows for is guys in the shop, guys in the field, if you're grabbing it quickly, there's going to be no confusion here, because to be honest, the labels are all in black and white. It's not the most obvious thing. And say, for example, if these get moved into another bag, it's not the bag that it came in or what have you, you can grab these quickly and identify this and go, this is a red module and this is what I'm going to use. So that's just one of the key little details that we like to provide to make sure your guys' life is a little easier. And then the final module I'm going to talk about in the Panoramic series, and it's kind of a good segue because it's still in the Panoramic family, but it's 24-volt module, is our Panoramic 2D HE series. This is a 2-diode module, and it's about 30% more efficient than its members in the 12-volt operating secondary voltage. The reason this is advantageous is because you can get the same brightness that you get out of a Panoramic 2D 12-volt, but you end up using about 30% less power supplies. And for that, it has, obvious reasons. As well as you can run longer runs without having to do a home run back to the power supply. So segueing from that, I'm going to go Panoramic 2D 24-volt over to our OpticMax series, which is our premium 24-volt modules. So a lot of customers are very familiar with 12 and 24-volt modules, and I'm going to try to explain to you the big advantages to going with these 24-volt modules. So the first thing is these modules have a even better lens than the previous modules. This is a 2-inch deep letter, double stroke, even illumination, 3-inch deep letter, double stroke, even illumination, and so on and so forth. So if we're looking at the 4 different types of modules that are available for the OM series, we have a 4-diode module, which can be seen here. Sorry about that. This is a OM4D high efficiency. We have a OM4D high output. We have an OM2D, which is similar to the 4-diode module. It just has a 2-diode configuration. And then finally, we have an OM2D mini, which is this guy right here. So what's the difference between an HO and an HE module? So all the modules you see here are high efficiency. They're all 170 lumens per watt or greater. The difference between a high efficiency and a high output module, high efficiency is 0.62 watts per piece. So it's 0.62 watts, but it provides the same brightness as a 1-watt 12-volt module does. So you're obviously seeing about a 40% savings in power supplies there. The HO, this is similar to this in efficiency. The primary difference is this is 1.2 watts per module. And what that allows you to do is, say you wanted a really deep channel letter, or there's a lot of light pollution, or something where you need the sign to just really pop, you can get the same efficiency, the same color, but just a brighter sign. I'm going to come over here before I talk about the mini series. This is the OM40HE, so the one that's seen in this sign here. This is a 2-inch deep box, and the stroke on these modules is 5 inches. And effectively, it's just showing that even at a 2-inch depth, you can mount these at a standard stroke width and have a nice even illumination. And then the final series I'm going to talk about is our OM2D Mini. This is our 24-volt mini module. And the reason we have this module is because, say, for example, you had standard channel letters that had our OM40HE in here, and what you needed was add a little tagline, add a little trademark, add something where these modules are not going to fit. This gives you the ability to have the weatherproof reliability of an outdoor module, along with the ability of using the 24-volt power supplies that are available. And with that, I think the concluding remarks to take away from this is EVERYLITE has a very comprehensive list of modules that are available. We have 12-volt modules, we have 24-volt modules. They're all high performing. And if there's any questions at this time, me and my colleague Fritz would be happy to field them for you.
Do you have any questions, Ann?
Yeah, so the first question that we have is, what are the additional services that we have other than the LED product? Do we offer any layout services?
Yes. Okay, so that's a great question. And the question was, do we provide additional services other than just the modules? Yeah, we are not just a manufacturer and fulfillment company. We have all sorts of service, from layout services to, on the layouts we provide not only the power supplies, but if you have questions about your primary voltage, how big does my circuit have to be? How far away can the power supply be remotely mounted? How can I dim this sign? If you want to do any effects, etc., we provide all of that for you.
There's also a response to that, David, that sometimes the power supply has to be mounted very remote.
Right.
And the industry electrical code allows for you to go up to, I think, 200 feet with 12 volt.
Yep.
And the electric code tells you what gauge wire to use. The public
Correct.
power supply has to be.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a service we also bring to the table.
Yep. Yep. So, basically in layman's term, if you're 200 feet away and you're running page rip strip, your sign is not going to be very bright. Just throwing it out there.
Another question?
Yes, what are the product warranties for the different series?
Oh, sure. That's a great question. So the product warranties available for the Panoramic series is a 7-year, 84-month product warranty and a 5-year labor warranty. For the OpticMax series, there's a 10-year product warranty, 5-year labor warranty. And what I want to talk about the warranty is basically this product over here is what I would consider an overbuilt product. And what I mean by that is it's IP68, it's fully potted, it has high efficiency chips, it has a high performance lens, it has all the best components you could possibly put in an LED module. And the reason we do that is because the best warranty call is no warranty call. And that's why we feel comfortable giving a 10-year warranty.
Okay. Any others?
Yeah, the last question is, we discussed the basic compatibility between the OpticMax series in different sizes. If you can address it, Panoramic can actually do the same thing.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So the question is, in different sizes of the Panoramic, can we offer the same color? Oh, yeah, of course. That's no problem. If you wanted to, have this in 6500K, the 2D and the 3D in 6500K, that's no issue. We can offer that.
Something that might not be obvious on the camera is the Kelvin temperature. I know most of the sign companies understand that, and probably designers understand that. Not sure maybe if all users might understand that. What's the value of having these different choices?
The different color temperatures? Okay, so this, it really depends where you're located, but if you're doing a lot of architectural signage, or if you're looking for that warmer color, the 4,000 and 5,000K are going to be extremely popular. If you're in an interior in a hotel, and all the overhead lighting, the can lighting, etc., is 2,700K, it's going to look kind of weird if you have all these brown, earthy, natural tones and you don't have a color like this to complement it. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense to go into a store, and you have a 9,000K, but everything around you is, this earthy sort of feel. So.
And another play with the Kelvin temperatures, which I see in the industry not actually addressed very often, but is using the Kelvin temperatures based on the pigment color of your face.
Right.
If you have a yellow face, use a warmer temperature.
For sure.
If you have a red face, maybe use a warmer temperature.
For sure.
If you have a blue face, and obviously use a high 9,000, 7,000, 6,500 face. If you haven't thought about that, that might help you enhance your signage to your customer.
It's actually a great point, because I have a project going on right now where it has yellow faces and we have the 3,000K in there, and it really makes the yellow look nice.
Yeah, it makes it pop.
Yeah, it makes it look good. Yep.
So over here, I noticed in this, I'm sure they can see it, but why is that extra wire there?
Okay, so the extra wire is here because realistically, if you made this channel a lot deeper, the modules can go significantly further apart. Because the lens is so good and so versatile, in this case, it's a 2-inch deep letter, but if you were to use this in a 10-inch deep letter or a 10-inch deep box, you could have them fully stretched and you'd have no issues.
So in this case, if the spec or the customer likes that particular module, they can use it basically in any depth.
Correct.
To fit the project.
Correct.
You wouldn't have to switch to another module they might not be familiar with.
Correct. Yep.
And that way it keeps your service side more in depth. Like you say, if a serviceman's out and he has to work on this and this and this, it might be the same module for all of it.
Right. He could go to some location and, it's like, listen, I don't want to bring 10 products with me. Let's just bring this one, get the problem solved, and go from there. Yeah, so, yep.
And that's just what you showed here in the 3-inch and the 2-inch.
Yep.
Similar thing, and also the 1-inch.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. Power supplies. I know we have 12 and 24.
Yep.
We have several options for that.
Yeah, we do. So I'm going to start with the 12 volt because that's, just left to right, that's the way I want to go. But this is available in 60, 100, 150, and 240 watt configurations. All the power supplies offered here are class 2, which means they're going to be multiple legs. And as per UL requirements, that means you cannot have more than 5 amps per channel on the secondary side. So per example, a 240 watt class 2 12 volt power supply is going to have 4 legs off of it, or the equivalent to 4 60 watt power supplies. Now for the 24 volt system, we don't have as many options, but we have quite a few. We have a 60 watt, a 100 watt, and a 150 watt power supply. The reason we brought those to the table, they're all class 2 as well, all UL listed, was because customers familiar with our previous power supplies, they use the same extrusion for the materials to go into. The only difference is the secondary voltage changes from 12 to 24. Yep.
Yeah, that gives them a lot of ability, like you say, and cuts down on site installation time by
Correct.
having a 240 watt instead of 460 watt.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. So
Yep.
and also the footprint is less
Right.
because you have the multiple lead taps coming off the power supply.
Right. Correct. Yep.
And that's normally something you'd specify based on the job layout.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So when we provide a layout, we're going to try and minimize waste as much as possible. We're not going to recommend, you use a power supply where you only end up using 10% of it. We're going to be in a situation where we're trying to minimize your components because it just makes it easier for installation.
I noticed earlier we talked about the IP ratings, which are relative to everything electric.
Yep.
But on our power supplies, don't we have a couple choices in IP rating with that as well?
Right. So we have 2 choices. We have really good IP67 and IP68. So the IP67 version would be our plastic, more economical cased power supply. And all of our IP68 ones are an aluminum case. They're fully potted and sealed, completely weatherproof power supplies.
Great.
Yep.
Melanie, is there any other questions?
I think so far we're so good. We haven't received any other questions. So unless there's something else you guys want to share.
Gotcha. Well, I guess we can just stay here and kind of talk because we, during the 30-minute segment.
Well, something you said earlier, and I found that it seems to be a hit and miss on this, but you mentioned MOQ.
Yeah.
We know what that means.
Yeah.
That means minimum order quantity.
Yeah.
And some people don't know what that means.
Yeah.
So like I say, if we had to make a custom color, the MOQ would be X amount of product. It wouldn't just be, if you only need to do that one letter, an MOQ would not work for that one letter.
Right.
But for a program job, it would be a wonderful solution.
Right.
Differentiate what they can get from us, possibly from else.
Correct. Well, and the reason we like to offer that is because say you had 500 locations and you need a very specific purple for a halo lighting or something like that. It doesn't necessarily make any sense to go with an RGB controller at every location because it makes install much more difficult. Why not just go with 2 wires, get the purple color you want, and it just makes life easier for everyone.
I know we're going to talk about that in another one tomorrow, but just to kind of maybe in there, we do have RGB and RGBW solutions.
Yes, yeah, we do.
We'll do a dedicated video on that.
Correct, yep.
Yeah, so you have those options as well.
Yep, and for speaking back to MOQ, for specific color temperatures, within this range, the MOQ for this is 1,000 modules or 10 bags, which for the industry is extremely low. I mean, a lot of people normally request significantly more, but we have, with our strong manufacturing, it's really not that big of an issue.
Okay. Anything else for you? I mean, from the designers that may be listening, your face material, there's different plastics available
right.
that will also have an effect on either the illuminated look or the non-illuminated look.
Right.
7328
right.
lights up very white, but when it's off, it's white. But the 2441 is brighter.
Right.
It's illuminated, but it's gray or
right.
a dirtier white when it's not illuminated.
Right.
So again, based on your design, and when you send that in to us as an RFQ, we may ask you those questions to help your job end up looking the best it can.
Yeah, correct. Yes, yeah. Definitely. No more questions?
And I say for just doing it's like color behind color, you mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Can you light up a red face with white LEDs? It's done more times than not now. However,
Right.
if you put a red LED behind a red face, it has much more saturation.
Yeah.
Same thing with blue, same thing with green.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing, especially on the design side, depending on the impact you need that to have, color on color, as I call it,
Yeah.
is a very easy option that's often overlooked.
Yeah, definitely. Well, realistically, what's going to happen? You put white behind red. It depends on what red acrylic you're using too. But it's just going to give you that true red, like that strong red, because otherwise it just gets really washed out. It looks kind of pink. And another thing too that's kind of important for brands nowadays, as we're seeing now, everything is virtual. A lot of things are filmed. A camera's really going to catch a white module behind a red face.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not going to look the same.
So again, it's just whether it's a one-off job or a national job, for the sign manufacturer, the designer, knowing these things helps everybody.
Right.
The end result is good for everyone. And actually, a failure for one is a failure for all of us too.
Right.
So we like to put our best foot forward,
Right.
and really recommend what we believe is best for that RFQ.
Right. Definitely.
All right.
Also, if you have any questions about any of our products, feel free to go to our page. We have a little heart, so hit that like button. Let us know. We will reach out to you. So I just want to mention that. You can also feel free to go to our social media platforms, follow, subscribe, like everything, comment. We're active on those.
So they can scroll down on our page to see more content. We have more videos and more content live on our page.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. So if you missed part of this presentation as well, and you want some more information, feel free to go onto our page, and we have a couple videos that really kind of describe exactly what we're doing, but the high quality too. And
we also offer a dedicated version of this video with your team, your sales team, in your facility by video, or depending on the state we're in, face to face. But we can offer you a dedicated presentation as well.
Yes, definitely. So you might like virtual, but if you want me to come, I would be more than happy to give the same presentation with a little bit more. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.